Welcome to CCBC TV's Arts Showcase, a series featuring performances from the campuses of the Community College of Baltimore County. I'm Monica Otal, Professor of Music and Concert Manager at CCBC. Today's Arts Showcase features the ensemble Divisio, whose musical influences cut a broad trail across the world, from Spain, Italy, and Greece to Turkey, Kyrgyzstan, and Northern Africa. The group is comprised of three multi-instrumentalists: Brian Kay, drumming and komuz, Niccolo Seligmann, bowed strings player, and Dan Raney on percussion. Recently awarded the prestigious Peabody Honors Ensemble status, as well as the Johns Hopkins University Provost Undergraduate Research Award, Divisio is pioneering the hidden frontiers of medieval and traditional music. This concert is in conjunction with and supported by a generous grant from the World Arts Festival.
Thank you all so much for coming. We are Divisio. We're an early music and world music improvisation ensemble. And before we start, we're each going to tell you just a little bit about the instruments we'll be playing in the first set.
So this is the earliest known form of percussion that involves a vibrating membrane. It's called the frame drum or the tar. And it extends back almost infinitely. Every few years or so, musicologists discover an earlier version of this drum sometime in history. And what's interesting about it was that it was developed simultaneously in different cultures of the world when they had no communication with each other. And this drum served as the foundation for other drums similarly, such as this Middle Eastern rick, or as some people like to nickname it, the Egyptian tambourine, and this doumbek. And of course, you cannot forget about the 75-cent egg shaker. It's very important.
This instrument that I'm holding between my legs right now is called a vielle, or a medieval fiddle. There are countless types of instruments in the medieval period that could be classified as fiddles. Really, all the word fiddle means in this context is a stringed instrument that you play with a bow. There are two-stringed ones, pictures of two-stringed ones in manuscripts, 14-stringed ones. It really runs the whole gamut. People played them up on their shoulders like a violin. Today I'll be playing it between my legs like my native instrument, the cello. There's even an 8th century manuscript where a guy is holding it with one hand, standing on one foot, and bowing with the other. There's countless different shapes and styles, tunings, ways of playing it. Really, you just make up your own way of playing it, and whatever works for you and sounds beautiful is the right way to do it.
This instrument is an oud, and the oud is one of the most ancient plucked instruments in the world, so ancient that we don't know when or where it originated. But there is a myth about its origin, and it goes like this. The Roman god Mercury was walking along the shore, and he came to a tortoise shell. And when he picked it up, the innards of the tortoise were stretched along the inside of the shell, and he plucked it, and it made the most beautiful sound God or man had ever heard. The first set of music that we're going to be doing represents the cultures that were present in the Andalusian Peninsula in the 13th century. So the first piece we'll do is from a manuscript called the Cantigas de Santa Maria, or Songs of St. Mary. The next piece is a Sephardic Jewish romance, a love song. And the last is an Arabic traditional folk melody. So now Niccolo and I have picked up two different instruments. This is a lute, and it's thought that the lute developed out of the oud once the oud was brought to the Western world, likely around the year 700 by the Moors. It was played there for possibly hundreds of years by Muslims, Jews, and Christians before eventually developing into this instrument by the 16th century. And the Renaissance lute is known as the king of instruments of the Renaissance, and has twice as much solo repertoire written for it than all other instruments combined.
Can you pass me that mic? It's not the king of the Renaissance. Don't let him tell you that. That's not true. This instrument, the king of the Renaissance, otherwise known as the viola da gamba, also originated from the previous instrument that we just played. The viol changed over time in the Renaissance and Baroque periods into an instrument that looks more like this. This has 7 strings rather than 5, and it has frets like the lute. A lot of people consider this instrument, the viola da gamba, to be the bowed lute. Well, I mean, yours is really just the plucked viola da gamba, but whatever. And this instrument was mostly popular from around the times of Shakespeare to around the time of the formation of this country.
Just so you know, king of the Renaissance. Don't listen to these guys.
So this next song is a traditional Welsh song, likely from around the 13th century, and it's a lament for the last Prince of Wales, Prince David. And his brother was actually the rightful heir to the throne of Wales, but was invited to a banquet by Edward Longshanks of England and ambushed and killed. So then David became the Prince of Wales and was chased from castle to castle until eventually he had to hide out in the mountains, and there he was found cold and hungry by Edward's men and put on trial, and they developed the sentence for high treason, especially for David, and he was sentenced to death. The Welsh language, any Welsh speakers in here? The Welsh language is a very interesting language, and in order to speak Welsh and sing in Welsh, you have to make certain sounds that we don't make in English. So one of these sounds you produce by placing the tip of your tongue against the back of your front teeth and breathing through the sides of your mouth. Go ahead and try it. Here's your first Welsh lesson.
So did everyone in Wales have braces? With like headgear?
And so this song is a lament for Prince David's death, and it's called Dwy Di Dai, and Dai is short for David in Welsh.
Dai flodor, doi di dai. Doi di dai, blith dai flodor, doi di dai. Damma flotin back noelo, liwan hoirak, wedya edrigo, dagarahiair, siderarito. Wisty die. Pwy for planir, blot hag well and wisty die. Pwy ffoplanir blot a gwellan wystidau. Na had sebi ha rosar tan se fo a fi in hoi planu blot ar dol pwy blanot Raney wel di dai. Planir blot a gwellan wystidau. Pwy ffoplanir blot a gwellan wystidau. Na had sebi ha rosar tan se fo a fi in hoi blanu blot ar dol pwy blanot Raney wystidau. Dwy di dau, blith dau flodor, dwy di dau. Dwy di dau, blith dau flodor, dwy di dau. Dyma flodyn bach yn oelo, liw yn hoerach wedi a hydrigo, dag yr air sydd yr arido, wel di dau.
And now for something completely different. This next dance is from 14th century Italy, a time when Italians were very fascinated with Arabic music and culture. From the perspective of an early Renaissance, late medieval Italian, the Arabs were the other. They were not Christian. Their culture was totally different. They counted differently. They used the number 0 before Europe ever did. All of these aspects of Arabic culture that seem so foreign to Europeans were exemplified in their music. So European musicians were imitating those sounds a lot. And in this next song, I want you to listen for what sounds Eastern versus what sounds European. So that's just something to keep in mind. This next song is called Isabella. next 3 songs we're about to do are all from the Balkans. Nazeli is a traditional Armenian lament, and there's just something about Armenian music. No matter how happy or sad it is, there's always a note of melancholy in there. And I think Nazeli is a perfect example of this. There are all kinds of feelings going on in Nazeli, but all of it has got a little hint of melancholy. After that, we've got 2 stompy, fun Bulgarian dances. We're just going to get down. Any of y'all who are music majors, or those who are not music majors, what's up? I dare you to tell us what meter the second and third pieces in this are in.
Is that a double dog dare?
A triple dog dare.
Oh, don't even say that. Don't even say that. You don't joke about that.
you're going to hear a lot of tuning in this concert, partly because our strings aren't made out of what, for example, a modern guitar strings are made out of. Our strings are made out of cow intestines. And they are very responsive to heat and humidity. So in months like, well, November, sometimes you got to tune a lot.
This instrument is called a komuz, and it appears in 13th century manuscripts, medieval musicians playing them. But it comes from Central Asia, and it's actually still very popular in Kyrgyzstan, where it's the national instrument, and it appears on their currency, and it's played by their superstars. It has 3 strings, and it's played by beating on the instrument and strumming it, as you'll see. The next song is a traditional English song called Nottingham Town, and it was passed down orally through the generations, so no one knows exactly when or where it was composed or who composed it. But it was just basically a story that parents told their children for generations and generations, and it comes to us that way. And eventually, the song traveled overseas to America with the early American settlers, and it also survives in an Appalachian tradition. And if you can, listen to the text, because the text is very sinister and nonsensical. It talks about a gray mare with a green stripe down her back, but there was no hair on her but what was coal black. And it talks about a stark naked drummer who's beating his drum, but his hands are in his pockets. How is that possible? It's called Nottingham Town. Ready?
In Nottingham Town, not a soul to be seen, not a soul would look up, not a soul would look down, not a soul would look up, not a soul would look down. To show me the way to fair Nottingham Town, the king and the queen and the company more, they came from behind and marching before, a stark naked drummer come beating his drum, his hands in his pockets came marching along. In Nottingham Town, not a soul to be seen, not a soul would look up, not a soul would look down, not a soul would look up, ooh, not a soul would look down. To show me the way to fair Nottingham Town, I had an old horse, she was called the Grey Mare, gray mane and gray tail, green stripe down her back, gray mane and gray tail, green stripe down her back. There wasn't hair on her but what was coal black. stood stark still, threw me to the dirt. Oh, she tore at my hide, and she bruised my shirt. From saddle to stirrup, I climbed back again, and on my 10 toes I rode over the bend. In Ottoman town, not a soul to be seen, not a soul would look up, not a soul would look down, not a soul look up, not a soul look down, to show me the way to fair in Ottoman town.
The very first song you heard on this concert, Besoje Maíz, comes from a Spanish manuscript of about 500 praise songs to the Virgin Mary. This is around 1252. We're going to do another one from that book now. This one's called Todos los Santos, and this is a hymn to all the saints, and it's very fun. Let me check your G first.
5 minutes. Okay, so we're going to skip these next 2 sets because we have 5 minutes left, I've just been told. So we're going to skip straight to the last song. So we're going to go ahead with our program. This next song is a traditional Scottish ballad called In a Garden So Green. And like Nottingham Town and the other traditional pieces we've been playing today, no one knows when it originated or who composed it. But it's just such a beautiful song that it was passed down from generation to generation. And you can imagine if there's a story that hasn't been written down, but parents have told their children, and when they became parents, they told their children for hundreds of years, how much the story might actually change and how much the melody in a song might actually change over time. So part of this tradition, part of the traditional music and folk music tradition, is to take these pieces and adapt them for your voice and instrument and for your audience, which is what I've done with this next one. And it's a song that tells about courtly love. And it's a song that discusses the issue with princesses being married off to princes or kings by their fathers, and they don't necessarily love the person who they're married to. So they fall in love with a court musician or poet. And the song is told from the perspective of that musician who's in love with the princess whose name is Elore.
In a garden so green, in a May morning, heard I my lady pleen of paramours. Said she, my love so sweet, come you not yet, nor yet, hate you not me to meet amongst the floors. Elore, 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 I love my lusty love, Elore, Elore. The skies upspring us, the dew dawn ding us, the sweet larks sing us their oars of prime. Phoebus upsprehentis, joy to rest when 'tis lost mine intent is, and gone's the time. Elore, 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 I love my lusty love, Elore, Elore. Live in hope, lady fair, and repel all despair. Trust not that your true love shall you betray. When deceit and languor banish the heart from your board, I'll be your paramour, and shall you please,
just more beautiful every time you sing that. So this next set, we are going to start out with a song that's not on your program called Danyava Mama, and I'm just going to play that on the medieval fiddle. This song is very special to me because the very first night that I met my partner, he sang this song for me, and we've been together ever since. We're very happy, and this song is sort of been like the seed from which our relationship has grown. So this is a very important song to me, and I hope to share this story with you. It's a very sad song. I won't go into too much detail, but basically it's a mother lamenting the death of her son. After this song, we are going to do a group improvisation. All of the music that you've heard today has some kind of improvisatory element. Obviously, we're not looking at sheet music. This is music that's coming as much from our fingers as is from our memory. And we're going to start completely from scratch on an improvisation for you guys. So you'll get to sort of see how we think together, how we communicate together. And then we've got one more song after that Brian will tell you about.
We have one last song for you. Before we started, I'd like to ask you all to please check us out on Facebook, like us on Facebook. Come up to us and ask us questions after the show, but be warned, if you ask about our instruments, we've been known to follow people out to their cars. And we have business cards, so please keep a lookout for us and come to shows we do.
And also, before we start playing, I would just like to thank Monica Otal and CCBC's World Arts Festival Week for having us here. It's been, give them a round of applause. We have been playing at different CCBC campuses all week, and we are so thrilled to be here. And we just want to thank you so much for coming and for staying and enjoying this. Can I have your seat?
So this next song is called Polo Margariteño, and it is a traditional Venezuelan song.
Al cantar tienes andio, entendimiento y razón. El cantar tienes andio, el cantar tienes andio, entendimiento y razón. La buena pronunciación y el instrumento al oído. La buena pronunciación y el instrumento al oído. Mire ese lirio que el tiempo lo consume y hay una fuente que lo hace florecer. Mire ese lirio que el tiempo lo consume y hay una fuente que lo hace florecer. Tú eres el lirio, ay, dame tu perfume, que yo soy la fuente, déjame correr. Tú eres el lirio, ay, dame tu perfume, que yo soy la fuente, déjame correr. La garza prisionera no canta cual solía cantar en el espacio y en el dormido mar. La garza prisionera no canta cual solía cantar en el espacio y en el dormido mar. Su canto entre cadenas es canto de agonía, porque te empeña pues Señor su canto prolongar. Su cantar entre cadenas es canto de agonía, porque te empeña pues Señor su canto prolongar. ¿Qué hago yo solo en el campo? ¿Qué hago yo solo en el campo? ¿Qué hago yo en el campo solo? Yo no enamoré ni canto, yo no enamoré ni canto, yo no canto ni enamoro. Suspirando lejos se abre el capullo de una blanca rosa. Suspira la brisa y suspirando lejos se abre el capullo de una blanca rosa. gusano de su prisión de seda y se convierte en linda mariposa. Sale el gusano de su prisión de seda y se convierte en linda mariposa. Encendió el cantar, quien encendió entendimiento y razón.
I hope you enjoyed this exciting performance by Divisio. If you would like to attend a Music Forum concert, please note that each Friday during the fall and spring semesters, the Music Department and CCBC presents Music Forum concerts at 12:20 in the recital hall of the Arts and Humanities Hall on the Essex campus. These concerts are an integral part of our students' education, and all the concerts are free and open to the public. For more information on Music Forum, please call 443-840-1521. I'm Monica Otal. Thank you for watching CCBC TV's Arts Showcase.